Chair recognizes the gentleman from New York.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I rise today to offer an amendment that will reward community college students for serving an important role in all of our communities. Specifically, it will provide community college students who mentor at-risk children with $10 of their student loan forgiveness for each hour of mentoring they complete. Not only will this loan forgiveness help our college students afford their student loans, but it will also help recruit mentors for at-risk children. I am proud that this Congress is so committed to creating loan forgiveness programs for students who work in areas of national need after graduation. Teachers, nurses, police officers, and child welfare workers are just some of the professions that will have more opportunities for loan forgiveness under the legislation we are considering today. And I applaud the Education and Labor Committee, particularly Chairman Miller and Ranking Member McKeon, for their work on this legislation. However, unlike many of the existing programs, my amendment offers loan forgiveness to students for volunteer work they complete while they are still in school, not for entering a specific profession upon graduation. For most, mentoring children is a volunteer effort and not a full-time job. And their reward is not monetary, but the realization that this kind of work makes a real difference not only in the life of the young person they're mentoring or in their own lives, but in fact it helps our entire community. Caring adults can make a difference in children's lives, and research shows the many positive effects of mentoring. Children that have mentors have better relationships with adults, fewer disciplinary referrals, and more confidence to achieve their goals. Mentoring programs are a cost-effective approach to reducing teen pregnancy, substance abuse, incarceration, and violence. For at-risk children who are already susceptible to these dangers, the need for a mentor is even greater. Unfortunately, mentors are not always easy to recruit, and finding mentors that are able to develop long-term relationships with children can be even more difficult. I believe that by providing a small incentive, we will compel others to engage in this kind of volunteerism. That is why I am offering this amendment to provide an incentive for college students to begin mentoring now, which will hopefully lead them to continue serving as a mentor long after they have graduated. Community college students are ideal targets for mentoring recruitment because they tend to have existing relationships within the surrounding community and are likely to remain in the area after completing their studies. This encourages a consistent, sustained mentoring relationship which provides the most stability for at-risk children. Of course, potential mentors can be found in many places, and I hope that in the future we will be able to expand this program to all colleges and universities. I know that many institutions are working on ways to encourage their student body to get more involved in volunteering, and I'm certain that passing this amendment today will lead to future success. I would ask my colleagues to please join me in supporting this amendment, and with that I will reserve the balance of my time.
For what purpose is the gentleman from Florida rise?
Madam Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to claim the time in opposition, although I'm not opposed to the amendment.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized.
Madam Chairman, this is a very creative, outside-the-box way to recruit mentors for at-risk kids, and I commend the author of this amendment, Congressman Crowley, for coming up with this idea, and I will be voting for it. I had a mentor myself when I was a young child in the Big Brothers Big Sister program. When I got a little older and became an adult, I became a mentor to high school students through the largest mentoring program in Orlando, Florida, called Compact, which provides mentors to children at risk of dropping out of school. I then became chairman of the board of that organization, chairman of the Mentoring Caucus once I got to Congress, and a co-author of the Mentoring for Success Act with Congressman Tom Osborne, which is now part of No Child Left Behind. I tell you this by way of background because I noticed that the hardest thing in mentoring organizations is recruiting mentors. I gave in 1 year 50 speeches to Rotary clubs and Kiwanis clubs to recruit 700 mentors, and it was very difficult because sometimes you only get folks to mentor for 1 year. but I saw that once you invested the time to recruit mentors, it made a difference. That program, Compact, has a 95% success rate in keeping kids in school. As Congressman Crowley alluded to, that helps all of us in terms of lower incarceration rates. Right now, 75% of the inmates in our jails and prisons nationwide are high school dropouts. State prisons cost taxpayers $20,000 a year. Federal prisons, $25,000 a year. If we can say to community college students, hey, we want you to do the right thing by providing an hour a week as a mentor or more, and by the way, if you do, we're going to help you financially for $10 an hour every hour you mentor for a year, that creates a pretty good pool of folks that we can look to do the right thing and have a financial incentive. So I congratulate you for this innovative approach. I've never thought of it, but I'm impressed with it, and we'll be voting for it. I urge my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to vote for it as well, and yield back the balance of our time.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from
Would the gentleman
New
yield
York
for 30
is
seconds?
recognized.
We yield 30 seconds, gentleman.
I want to thank the gentleman from New York, Mr. Crowley, for offering this amendment. As has been pointed out, mentoring can be a very, very powerful force in so many people's lives, certainly in students' lives as they struggle to have mentoring by older students or members of the community who have the grasp of the subject matter. It can really turn around their abilities to read, to do math, to comprehend so many other subjects and lead to their improved performance in school or in other activities in the community. And I want to thank the gentleman for offering this and urge support of the amendment.
Gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman from New York is
Thank you, Mr. How much time do I have left, Mr.
Gentleman has 1 minute remaining.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I won't take that full minute. Let me first thank my good friend from California, Mr. Miller, for his comments. And Mr. Keller from Florida, thank you very much for your own life experience in adding that to the debate today, and for your words of support for this amendment. We've heard the expression before, this is a win-win. Well, this is a win-win-win. This is a win for the at-risk youth. This is a win for the student who will serve as a mentor and be able to repay his or her college loan at $10 an hour for each hour they commit to this program. And this is a win for all of our communities as well, mentoring at-risk youth to enable them to have a better quality of life through this mentoring program. So I thank both of you and all my colleagues for supporting this amendment. And with that, Mr. Chair, I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. The questions on the amendment of Mr. Crowley. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Without objection, amendment is carried.